years and years ago, and it was good.
Yeah.
We are
17.
live.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to this public meeting. It is November 19th, 2024, and it is 5:10 p.m. The applicants are Pam and Robert McKay. Being 5:10, this meeting held by council in accordance with bylaw 2007-45 is called to order. Could I have an approval of the public meeting minutes from August 14th, 2024 with regard to the 291B Trevine Road shoreline purchase, please? Moved by John, second by Merv. Were there any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you, council. Members are to state any pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof before items are discussed. Are there any declarations? I see none. This public meeting is to consider an application for a shoreline purchase for the stopping and closing of that portion of unopened shore road allowance along Golden Lake in front of Part Lot 21, Concession 9 in the geographic township of South Algona. Lot is located on 125 Bolina Way. The public meeting is a requirement of bylaw 2007-45. In accordance with the bylaw, notice must be given at least 20 days before the public meeting is held. Would the clerk please report on the circulation of notice?
The notice of the public meeting appeared in the October 23rd, 2024 edition of the Eagle Leader. On October 23rd, 2024, the notice was circulated to all property owners within 120 meters of the subject property. It was sent on October 23rd, 2024 to the appropriate agencies. The notice of the meeting was also posted on the township website.
On October 23rd, 2024.
You got it.
The 20-day notice having been given, I now declare this meeting properly constituted to transact its business. Would the clerk please report on any written comments received?
There wasn't any.
Thank you. Do any members of the public wish to speak to the sale of the shore road allowance? Does the owner or agent for the property wish to speak to the sale of the shore road allowance? Are there any comments or questions from council? Seeing none, this therefore completes the public meeting process. Council will consider the arguments for and or against the sale of the road allowance requested for this property. The bylaw will be brought forward to council for consideration of passing when a survey has been completed. Any person wishing to receive written notice of the sale of the road allowance being considered at this meeting must leave their name and mailing address with the township clerk in writing. I declare this public meeting closed and adjourned at 5:12 p.m.
Okay, we're live.
Wonderful, thank you, welcome back. So we've got the applicant is Tom Flegel, being 5:15 PM. This meeting held by council in accordance with bylaw 2007-45. I'm calling this meeting to order. Members are to state any pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof before items are discussed. Is there any pecuniary interest? Excellent, seeing none. This public meeting is to consider an application for a shoreline purchase for the stopping and closing up of that portion of unopened shore road allowance along Lake Clear in front of Part Lot 30, Concession 8 in the geographic township of Sebastopol. Lot is located on Whitkey Road. The public meeting is a requirement of bylaw 2007-45. In accordance with the bylaw, notice must be given at least 20 days before the public meeting is held. Would the clerk please report on the circulation of notice?
The notice of the public meeting appeared in the October 16, 2024 edition of the Eagle Leader. On October 16, 2024, the notice was circulated to all property owners within 120 meters of the subject property. It was sent on October 16, 2024 to the appropriate agencies. The notice of the meeting was also posted on the township's website.
Thank you. The 20-day notice having been given, I now declare this public meeting properly constituted to transact its business. Would the clerk please report on any written comments received?
There wasn't any.
Thank you. Do any members of the public wish to speak to the sale of the shore road allowance? Seeing none. Does the owner or agent for the property wish to speak to the sale of the shore road allowance?
Did you want to speak on the about your shore? Did you want to speak on the shoreline, or are you okay with how everything's going?
Well, I'm not sure what, is it
It's your time.
past or going through or,
Oh,
yeah? Or,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
yeah, no,
Okay.
okay,
I have
thanks.
no comments.
You can't hear real well.
No,
Oh,
that's okay. It's fine, Kathy. Thank you. Does the owner, or sorry, are there any comments or questions from council? I see none. This therefore completes the public meeting process. Council will consider the arguments for and or against the sale of the road allowance requested for this property. The bylaw will be brought forward to council for consideration and passing when a survey has been completed. Any person wishing to receive a written notice of the sale of the road allowance being considered at this meeting must leave their name and mailing address with the township clerk in writing. I declare this public meeting closed and adjourned at 5:18 PM.
Okay.
Excellent. Welcome everyone back to this public meeting on November 19th, 2024. The applicant is Ray Pilon, being 5:20 PM. This meeting held by council in accordance with section 34 of the Municipal Act. Could I ask the people in the gallery, we're having a meeting, please? Thank you. in accordance with section 34 of the Municipal Act. I don't know what happened there. Members are to state any pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof before items are discussed. Are there any declarations? I see none. This public meeting is to consider an application for the closing of a portion of Feebig Road located at Concession 3, Lot 13 in the geographic township of Groton. Road is located on 487 Feebig Road. The road closure would take place after a new road is created and assumed for public use by the municipality. In accordance with section 34 of the Municipal Act, before passing a bylaw to permanently close a highway, a municipality must give public notice of its intention to pass the bylaw. Would the clerk please report on the circulation of notice?
The notice of the public meeting appeared on the October 16th, 2024 edition of the Eagle Leader. On October 16th, 2024, the notice was circulated to all property owners within 120 meters of the property. It was also sent on October 16, 2024 to the appropriate agencies. The notice of the meeting was also posted on the township website.
Thank you. The notice having been given, I now declare the meeting properly constituted to transact its business. Would the clerk please report on any written comments received?
Summary of comments. I have attached the two comments that I've received from residents. The first one is, good day. We have read the Township of Bonnechere Valley's notice of the public meeting on November 19th concerning proposed changes to Feebig Road, in particular the section through concession 3, lot 13. Since we live across the lake, our land is not affected and we do not have any objections to the suggested change. We would like the following questions/concerns to be considered by the council. We were not aware that the narrow strip of land between Constant Lake and Feebig Road was private. We also believed that shoreline was crown land. We love the view from our home as we look across the water and hope that the tree-lined shorefront in question will remain unchanged, as it is an annual nesting location for loons and other waterfowl and a favorite feeding area for many other species. If the new road proposal is approved, we are concerned with the resulting daily movement of heavy construction equipment along this municipal road. We know that disruption would be temporary. However, will the township ensure that the extra attention is paid to maintaining that 3-kilometer stretch of Feebig Road between Scotchbush and the construction zone? Finally, and perhaps separately, the overall safety along Feebig Road needs to be formally addressed. There is a significant increase in traffic. Dangerously close calls will persist due to speeding drivers and their lack of care, and the total absence of road signs warning of blind hills, curves, and hidden driveways. Please don't wait for a serious crash to occur. In fact, this is a concern we have raised previously. Since yours sincerely, Julianne Martin. My second comment, on October 6, 1893, the Municipal Corporation of the Township of Groton passed number 58 for the purpose of establishing a road called the Dacre and Constant Lake Road. Be it therefore enacted by the said municipal corporation, and it is hereby enacted by the authority of the same, that the following road be and is hereby established as a public highway, vice commencing at the southwesterly angle of lot 14 in the 4th concession of the township, hence 7730E, following the blank line between concession 3 and 4. 40 chains more or less to the dividing line between lots 12 and 13, concession 3, thence S12 30W 9.69 chains. Then following various courses and directions to a post planted in the northerly limits of the Balaclava and Dacre Road. I start out this way to emphasize the importance of the purpose of the township buying the land was to provide access to farms that were cut off from the main road, bridged by the flooding of the lake shore, road allowance, and wetlands. Any new road should be built and maintained for the same original purpose. That was the intent 120 years ago. That is a road to concession 3, lot 12, and concession 4, lot 13 and 14. Terry Fleck.
Thank you. Do any members of the public wish to speak to the closing of a portion of Feebig Road located on concession 3, lot 13 in the geographic township of Groton? So I'll ask you to introduce yourself, and I think you were first.
Yeah, maybe I should speak after. It's Ray Peel. I was the person that put this motion forward.
Okay, no, so you're the owner
Yeah.
agent, so I will get you. I'm sorry, Mr. Pilon. Sorry. Go,
That's okay.
go ahead, Mr. Flint.
My name is Terry Flett, and I'm the owner of Lot 12 Concession 3, Lot 12 Concession 4 in the former township of Grattan, Ward 2. Your Worship, Mayor Murphy, Councillors Baldwick, Patrick, Saunderson, Epps, thank you for your attention this afternoon. Mr. Pilon's letter references July 14th, 2015, a survey that shows no reference to the 29.7 feet north, 55 degrees east, but does reference 8 degrees west, 338.58 feet, and inserts 390.32 feet, an error of 52 feet. At this point, there was a gate in the fence to enter the Lalonde property, which is now my property. I should point out I have copies of this for everybody, and maybe you could follow the map we're talking about.
That would be helpful. I know that I sat at this table when this issue came about in 2015, but it was a long time ago.
Sure.
So
I would
Oh, sorry, John.
thank you.
Welcome.
I think John gave his up to Brent.
Yeah, I have one here for John.
So, in saying that,
you go.
I'm making a reference to an abstract that I had searched from Penny Abstracts. They searched out this road that you own.
Yes,
The township owns it, they pay for it. And I'm referring to, and you can see a schedule talking about some degrees and distances and that. And I bring that up because the filing that you have in front of you on page, I believe it was page 88. This is Mr. Pilon's filing. I presume you have that in front of you.
for us, it's page 8. But it's not quite as detailed,
That's,
and page 9. Yeah,
well, that map is a copy of
right.
what was sent in for the application. And I bring this up because in the searching of the abstract, there was partly down, we talk about these degrees in feet. And there's an argument that there's some kind of 1.5 inches of land between my fence
I remember it well,
and
sir.
the township road lawns. You should not say township road lawns, it's a township owned land.
Yes,
And I point out that in Mr. Pilon's letter, that shows no reference for 29.7 feet at 55 degrees. If you look at the abstract I gave you, you can see, and by the way, this abstract comes from a mortgage lien against the property for the Bank of Canada to the former owner of the property Mr. Pilon now owns. And one would think that they have a little vested interest when they were carrying a mortgage back then. It shows the 29 feet on the 1, 2, 3, 4th last paragraph. As you can see, the 55 degrees and the 29 feet are mentioned there. They are not mentioned in the deed that Mr. Pilon refers to in his letter of application. It's not on there. That 29 feet moved in a westerly direction. So if you can, to really put it on the clock for you, if you read the first one that talks about 8 degrees, there's north. Here's 8 degrees, and that's east. You always face north like that. That's east. but it says that you then move over to 55 degrees west. Well, you're over here east, north is straight up, west is over here, so you turn right. But his survey that he refers to does not do that. It doesn't turn that way as your deed is that you have. It skims off and goes up, leaving a small fraction along my fence line. I also wanted to refer to you, the intent of the road was to provide access for various property owners along Phoebe Road, and including the Linden property, now the Phoebe property, so Pilon property. As you know, the road goes all the way out to the Dacre Balclava Road, and it was purchased all the way out, except for a small part that is actually a township road lines. I would ask that you do not grant this road closure unless it includes the road that abuts my property, as was the original intent.
Thank you very much.
Thank
sir.
you.
Were there any other members of the public that wanted to speak to this? Then, Mr. Pilon, I will now ask you as the owner, would you like to speak, sir?
Yeah, just to clarify a few of the misconceptions about the property. So I have the original article from when the Linden family sold that right of way to the township.
Okay,
And if you can read through it, this is what the surveyor Casper Zach used to do the survey that you all have a copy of. And it clearly shows there is a separation from the boundary and the township road. That separation is the land I own. Mr. Flett is well aware of that. He learned that in 2005, which I also have a copy of, when he trespassed and cut a log fence down and cut some of my trees down. So an OPP officer visited him on his side of the lake and instructed him that he was trespassing after he looked at the survey. Mr. Flett's well aware of that. You were served notice, sir, in case you forget.
okay, Mr. Pilon, this is not a debate
Okay.
between neighbors.
No.
I apologize, sir. This is a
Okay.
public meeting to decide on
But this is the,
planning matters.
that's the bill of sale to the township from the Linden family.
Okay, do you have copies of that for all of us, sir?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
And it refers to back in the good old days of canes and links.
I saw the chains thing made me laugh. I haven't heard chains since my great grandfather used to talk about it at the homestead. Thank you, sir.
That's the information Casper Zach used to come up with a correct survey. It'll take some reading.
Yeah,
It starts back where the yellow highlighted mark is.
At the risk, because we're being presented with new information.
Right.
I'm going to rely on our clerk and our CAO. Can I table this meeting to a later date to give council some opportunity to read this information and to check with our road super who's named in a lot of this stuff and get some advice?
So council does not need to make a decision today.
Okay,
This is just a public meeting to collect more information. We can have another public meeting another day. Or we could, take all the information and then consider it at committee. And then whatever the direction is, go back to council. So and we can decide that we don't need to decide that today either. If you want to collect all the information, that's what we're here to do. If council decides we need a second public meeting, we can do that. If there's no further information to come forward and we just want to consider it at committee, we can do that as well. So we have all of those options are available to us.
I would like to have another public meeting, please.
Okay.
I think it's imperative that we have the opportunity to review everything that you've given us and get better advice. Because again, gentlemen, I'm sorry, this came up 9 years ago. My memory's good, it's not that good.
And I'm not here to challenge what happened 9 years ago, but I wasn't privy to that meeting. Okay, I wasn't given notice for that meeting. The other part that I do have that shows back in 2005, when severance was granted to Mr. Platt to purchase the property on your letterhead. He knew then there was no access because he thought he was getting a right of way through the Phoebe property,
Okay,
okay?
so
So
this is a lot of information. Council, do you agree with me that we should adjourn this for this evening and bring it back? Because I'm not gonna lie, planning is not my greatest asset, and I think that we are gonna need.
May I have an opportunity to speak or did I lose my?
I'm sorry, sir, no, apologies.
No, understood.
What would the role of an additional public meeting versus just bringing it to committee?
Because I think
These more information could not.
we might have better questions with more information.
Here's my property here.
Like, we can't sit here and read through all of this and dissect it this evening.
I can't make a decision from that.
That's how I feel.
Mr. Fedlin's property.
You can't make a decision from all this.
Access to the local.
Okay,
Sorry.
we can discuss, yeah. So can I adjourn? Or can I
Take on.
Can I table? Can I ask for somebody to table this motion and vote on it?
So when do you want to? Are we going to send out notice for the next public meeting? Or are you going to make a date as of today? You can
Well-
do either or.
just,
Yes, sir.
sorry, just one last comment. We have a registered surveyor in Ontario that reviewed all of that information, stamped it, and registered that property,
Okay,
okay? So there's no gray area about 3 degrees north and 4 degrees east.
okay,
So that's a legal
I get it.
binding document. I didn't come up with it, Adam Kasperzak did, and you all have a copy of that.
Do I have a last comment?
No, I'm sorry, sir. Nobody else gets to comment except council now. Sorry, I have to follow the rules of the Planning Act. I didn't make these rules up, the province did. Comments, questions from council, but my recommendation stands that we table this and maybe bring it back at our December 3rd meeting.
December 3rd,
Yeah,
you think that's enough time?
maybe not. What's our next one? December
December,
17th? Let's do December 17th. And if, yeah. I hate to put it off that long, but like, it's a lot of information.
Okay.
And it is a neighbor on neighbor issue as well, which I take very seriously. Are there any comments or questions from council at this time? Okay, then I will ask, yes, go ahead, John.
So for our information, who we will go to the county planners to help us with that?
I think between county, this information and speaking with our CAO and our road super, I think definitely we'll get a better handle on this.
Okay.
and we're bringing it back for a December 17th public meeting,
Public
similar
meeting.
to today. So we don't, because we've set the date today, we don't have to send out notice because the people we sent out notice.
They're here.
showed up.
Yeah,
So there will be notice on our website. You're also welcome to call. And so December 17th, we will go ahead and have another public meeting. So at that point, there'll be another opportunity to speak for the public and for the applicant. So if you didn't get an opportunity to speak today, we're having another
Yeah.
meeting. There will be another opportunity to speak. And then, and then council can move forward after the public meeting. So public meetings we're not making decisions. We're collecting information, doing consultation. And then it will come back again to another public meeting, except that'll be a public meeting of committee. So at that point, then the consultation is done and there's not conversation back and forth. It's just council that's speaking then once it gets to that point. But at the next public meeting on December 17th, there will be opportunity for the public to comment. And if you want to send something to Erica in the meantime, that's okay too. We will make sure council receives that as well.
but I think then at that meeting, we will be in a better position to ask you questions. Because right now, we're not.
Yeah.
we're just not. And I would love to read through all of this, and I love the cursive, the penmanship on this one. This is beautiful, but I think that we do need a little bit of time.
For the
Um,
consultation.
And yeah, and I think that we can speak to Jason about it at our December 3rd meeting. Just once we've had a chance to digest this. So at this time, I would ask council, can I get somebody to table this, please? John, thank you. All in favor? Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thanks for your understanding. Bringing new information to the meeting is somewhat difficult for us. But I promised her we will review it and we will have some sort of decision and you will have a chance to speak again. And now I know the order in which people need to speak. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody. Okay,
So at 5, so will it be then 5:15 on
let's make it 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on
Yeah.
December? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta tell them.
Well, we'll be on our website.
Okay, wait,
We'll,
Mr. Pilon.
I think we have.
5 o'clock.
Both our emails for good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
All right, as I yell at her.
Yeah, well, it's on YouTube. We'll,
I know.
we'll post it on
I
the
know, but
website.
still though, it's like, wait. All right, welcome everyone to this public meeting on November 19th, 2024. It is 5:41 PM. The applicant is Mark Hodge. And I hope I don't butcher this, Natahiena. It's beautiful, whatever it is, stone.
she didn't tell me how to pronounce it.
It's lovely, and I apologize. So being 5:42 PM, this meeting held by council in accordance with bylaw 2007-45 is called to order. Members are to state any pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof before items are discussed. Are there any declarations? I see none. This public meeting is to consider an application for a shoreline purchase for the stopping and closing up of that portion of unopened shore road allowance along Golden Lake in front of Part Lot 15, Concession 10 in the geographic township of South Laguna. Lot is located at 325 Rocky Point Drive. The public meeting is a requirement of bylaw 2007-45. In accordance with the bylaw, notice must be given at least 20 days before the public meeting is held. Would the clerk please report on circulation of notice?
The notice of the public meeting appeared in the October 23rd, 2024 edition of the Eagle Leader on October 23rd, 2024. The notice was circulated to all property owners within 120 meters of the subject property. It was sent on October 23rd, 2024 to the appropriate agencies. The notice of the meeting was also posted on the township website.
On October 23rd, 2024.
You know.
The 20-day notice having been given, I now declare this meeting properly constituted to transact its business. Would the clerk please report on any written comments received?
There wasn't any.
Thank you very much. Do any members of the public wish to speak to the sale of the shore road allowance? Does the owner or agent for the property wish to speak to the sale of the shore road allowance? Are there any questions or comments from council? I see none. This therefore completes the public meeting process. Council will consider the arguments for and or against the sale of the road allowance requested for this property. The bylaw will be brought forward to council for consideration and passing when a survey has been completed. Any person wishing to receive written notice of the sale of the road allowance being considered at this meeting must leave their name and mailing address with the township clerk in writing. I declare this public meeting closed and adjourned at 5:44 PM.